Salyut 7 space station, July 12, 1984. Cosmonauts Oleg Atkov, Leonid Kazim, and Vladimir Solovyov enter the 156th day of their 237-day stay aboard Russia's Scientific Research Space Station. To date, everything has gone according to plan. But on this day, all three crew members witness an extraordinary event.
In 1984, Soviet cosmonauts on board Salyut 7 saw a strange orange glow around the spacecraft. And they saw what they thought at first was maybe a gas leak. But it seemed that the whole station was surrounded by this orange cloud. And as they looked at it, the cloud coalesced into a shape.
Suddenly, they are all blinded by this orange light. When they regain their vision, they look out the portals of the spacecraft, and they're astonished by what they see. They describe seeing 7 angelic beings that are traveling alongside their spacecraft, and did so for 10 minutes.
The men described huge winged creatures, as much as 80 feet tall, that appeared to have glowing halos. Officials dismissed the incident as a group hallucination, resulting from oxygen deprivation and pressure fluctuations. Later that summer, 3 more cosmonauts joined the Salyut 7 crew. All 6 of them, once again, saw these winged beings. But how could all of these cosmonauts share one hallucination?
It seems to me that this was not hallucination, that whatever it was they were witnessing, it was real, it was out there. Now, angels, aliens, I don't know, but when one looks at the recurrence of winged figures in human history, in terms of religion, in terms of culture, mythology, are we looking at something real? Are these angels that we see actually extraterrestrial entities?
Might the winged figures seen by the Salyut 7 crew really have been extraterrestrials? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest that similar sightings were secretly reported by many Russian cosmonauts.
Soviet cosmonauts had a really interesting and challenging dilemma when it came to truth-telling. Because at the same time that they were the public face of the Soviet space program, there was the always hidden goal of the Soviet space program, which was to prove intercontinental ballistic missile capability. So the cosmonauts were publicly to disguise those parts of the mission that were secret and involved in national security, making it all that much more interesting when we try to assess what they saw when they talk about anomalous things that they supposedly encountered in space.
You have to understand that many cosmonauts, even if they witnessed something strange in space, were highly reluctant to openly talk about it because of the concern of being decommissioned for the reason of insanity. Indeed, some of the Soviet and the Russian cosmonauts did have very strange experience in space.
Could strange encounters reported by Russian cosmonauts, as well as military pilots, be connected to the artifacts discovered in the Ural Mountains and the Dawnogorsk crash site? Ancient astronaut theorists believe the answer can be found by examining not just what the Russian cosmonauts have seen in space, but what they've heard. Ever since Yuri Gagarin became the first man to reach space in 1961, cosmonauts, along with other astronauts from around the world, have had visions and experiences in space that defy explanation. Perhaps the most curious among these incidents is what has become known as the Space Whisper.
There's an anonymous cosmonaut, I think he's simply known as Cosmonaut X, who allegedly talked about an experience that he and another cosmonaut had while they were in orbit. What this anonymous cosmonaut said, he heard something speaking to him inside his mind.
Both apparently heard this same whispering inside their heads, a kind of telepathic message. This cosmic whisper said that they were his ancestors from the very distant past. They told him things about his own family in the Urals that no one would have known. And they also told him that they should go back to Earth, that Russia was not ready for what they were attempting to do. And in a sense, go back home and, prepare yourself.
There were more than one cosmonaut. Some of them knew not to report it because this would eliminate their presence in the space program. But they talked among each other when they could, and they found out that it was more than one person and in different spaceships that had been subjected to this.
How could so many Russian cosmonauts have heard the same mysterious whisper while traveling through space? And just what was this celestial voice trying to communicate? Ancient astronaut theorists believe it is another example of extraterrestrial activity that is only now being disclosed.
With all of the massive secrecy in Russia and all of the things we're just learning, it would seem to be only the tip of the iceberg of the many visitations of extraterrestrials that have been occurring all over the world.
There is a great wealth of information in the former Soviet Union, and when people in the West find out more and more about events and observations over Russia, they become amazed.
If we were to get access to some of the Russian files on extraterrestrials, it could answer some of the questions that we have. Because what if some of those stories corroborate the ones that we're familiar with? Because then it could only mean one thing. We've all been visited by the same visitors.
Does the ultimate proof that extraterrestrials have visited Earth exist within Russia? Could such information have been purposely covered up? And if so, might the most compelling evidence still be under lock and key? Perhaps, as more of Russia's secret files are revealed, we will discover that hidden within these vast archives lies the truth about our alien origins.